Hi everybody. So, I told you that I would make a video for later, so this is it, with what I had written down. So this video is going to be about one of the greatest lessons that I had learned, these past, partial of last year and this year, okay? So, and it's one of the greatest pieces of advice I could give to anyone too. And that is to not try to control out of fear. So, may I see that, baby? Oh, she's running away with it. So, one of the greatest things I had learned was not to try and control things out of fear. Many examples for that. I can go all day talking about it. To really speak your truth, right? And the best way I had learned to explain what I mean is to use myself as an example. Okay, so let me see. She took my notes. Thank you. So I had right. So if I would have spoken my truth, no matter the fear that I had, the fear that was controlling me constantly, right? For example, when it came to work, if I would have spoken up about how I were always being mistreated, and not treated equally, being set aside, even though I know I worked my damnedest. If I would have spoken up about how I wasn't being given the fair chances because of whatever reasons that we don't want to talk about, sure, I probably would have been fired or something, but maybe I would have realized sooner that the place was just full of people that were pretending just as much as I was at that point in time in my life, right? Helena, no, baby. Hold on, give me 1 second. Okay, so, when it came to doing drugs, right? A lot of people go through that. A lot of people don't go through that. I did. So when it comes to that, if I would have spoken my truth and spoke up about doing them, right, to the people that I loved and I knew loved me in return just as much, maybe I wouldn't have betrayed their trust for the amount of time that I did. When it comes to relationships, if I would have spoken about the real and invasive thing about that relationship out loud, or any relationship for that matter, to actually hear me saying those words come out of my mouth instead of someone else's, it would have been a slap in the face sooner, which would trigger the initiation, right, to start healing for myself and all others involved, including that person. Would have been a lot sooner. Let's see what else is right here. You're gonna go through it for me? Thank you, baby. Thanks. There's no words on that page though. Can I see something real quick? Wow, thank you. That, and they would hear it too. Yes, the truth hurts, but sometimes we need to hear and speak it to gain the knowledge needed to have those epiphanies, right? And be able to actualize what is truly going on around us. I wrote, sometimes we're so far and deep into things we don't see outside of the situation, given the example, All right, so the example being when you're in a really crappy relationship and all your friends are telling you that there's something wrong with this person, but you're the only one that doesn't see it, right? So, what else I wrote was sometimes we're so far deep into things that we just don't see outside of that situation, especially when that is something we have always known to be. And by that, I mean, please get your feet out of your mouth. Thank you. For example, when we grow up and we don't have the proper teachers in our lives, whoever those elders may be, and they don't teach us how to properly heal or how to properly love another or to receive love mainly. You know, you think I haven't learned anything else otherwise. What is a healthy relationship anyway? And then when we come to heal, we end up having epiphanies every single time and end up getting down and out and crying over it because we're just now realizing what's really been wrong with us this entire time once we get to that point. And that's okay. When you do get to that point, if you have not already, that's okay. That is okay. It's 100% okay. Better late than never. So, okay, so I wrote, I've been so strangled on whatever I've had chosen to believe as healthy in the past, and not until we experience things do we become more wise in our day. Hi. So, I was saying that I had been so strangled in the past on whatever I had chosen to believe was healthy. So not until we experience things do we become more wise in our day, right? So I'm here to remind you, knowledge is power. So, but to experience things is to have the power and the wisdom. So I figured, you know, if I could share my experience with you, and with others that maybe they wouldn't have to go through the detrimental occurrences that I had to go through, right? They can still get the power from my wisdom. So I had wanted to spread awareness for the many who have not yet been through quite enough. And hopefully don't ever have to go through that. And also to spread awareness to the many people who are already the hurt beings, you know, in our existence that have entered that sort of situation and still live with it day to day, who are still not over it, and it still haunts them, because I know it does. At least the ones who haven't healed yet. I mean, it still even haunts me at times. And we're never completely always healed. But to start is a big step from yesterday, you know. To be better than yesterday is always one thing that I need every day. To become better than the day before. Where was I? And even after it's over, you know, it still haunts them. So, and that's whether they know it or they don't know it. And that happens. You could unwillingly or unknowingly rather allow it to affect you each day. And you could tell by, you know, if you were to do shadow work or whatnot. That was a big thing that I did that helped me. My life took a turn when I did shadow work for the better. Let's see. I can't read my handwriting. But to bury something so deep inside, we find ways to make tragedy and trauma a regular thing to deal with. We always do it. We bury it so deep inside, and we repress our emotions so thoroughly. We good job, baby. We mask ourselves to the unusual and wrong in the worst of ways. We don't shine with our unique personalities, our unique skills, our differences. We mask those things when we should be exploiting those parts of us. Not exploiting necessarily, but, exacerbating the uniqueness of it, I guess, so to speak. Instead, we end up shunning ourselves after something so traumatic because we were taught that's all right, as if it's how it should be. If someone is to make you feel so small and put you in a space where you don't feel the same, and you feel as though you're unable to be freed, that is not on you. If someone is to put you down for what you say and you're speaking your truth, that is not on you. That is not your cross to bear. And I had some of the hardest times coming to terms with that myself. If we were to speak our minds when we know it is necessary to do so, we would stand up for ourselves more often and have to deal with the personal pain of others being casted, or other people's personal pain, their pain being casted and projected on us a lot less. If we were to speak our truth, if we were to say that's not my problem. We would have more clarity within ourselves. Growing up as human beings in this world and in this society and whatnot, we grow to have so many self-limiting beliefs of ourselves, creating self-esteem issues on top of what we're already not born with, but, as we grow up, our society teaches us through now the internet, TV, that we have to be a certain way, when that's not true at all. It's actually through our differences and our uniqueness do we stand out. And you know what? I just see it as something that's unfathomable that we end up growing up that way, but we do that. And I know that because of experience. I've done the same. It's happened to me. Seeing it now is it's just a sad and destructive way to live. Maybe if I would have spoken up about the things I knew in the past, things I knew of myself in the past to others, within the situations I dealt with, I would have, what did I write here? I would have been better off. But you know what? Then I truly believe that I couldn't have been able to create what it is that I'm calling my healing movement if I didn't go through all that step by step, day in, day out. I wouldn't have gained so much momentum in the pain I felt, so much momentum in turning that around. So, as it seems, I feel it was all necessary. But maybe, just maybe, I could save a person or two or help them out of a situation. Even if I can't get my words correct ever. And that comes from traumatic stuff that's happened. But we get better each day. Like before, I wouldn't have been able to write all this down because I lost motivation and I couldn't get my words correct in my head enough to write them down on paper. But look at me, I wrote some shit down. So, let's see here. Everything happens for a reason. Should you choose to finally stand up for yourself, however you may do that, whether that's to people, whether that's for yourself, about yourself, whether that's you wearing something you want, no matter what, always speak your truth. That's most important. Don't be so hard on yourself. I wish for you to understand that, to not be so hard on yourself. As long as you stay true to yourself, it does not matter how other people take it. Yes, they could get hurt. But in the end, they'll see that you were speaking truly. You're being as honest as possible. You're speaking with integrity. You're speaking with pride. And they will condemn you for that later. They will thank you for that later. Don't be so hard on yourself, for when you do see into the depths of what and who you are or choose to be, you will notice that you're strong and creative and will see it through to the other side. You'll see it through to be successful in what you desire. Even if you just simply desire to be the best version of yourself you have ever wanted. You and anyone else has ever wanted or witnessed. You'll do that. I know this video was kind of all over the place, and I don't really feel like I want to redo it because I'm just speaking my truth. And if it's not perfect, that's okay, because it just takes a lot to get these words out every day. And that means so much to me. Let me lead by example. Start telling your truth. Start speaking your truth. Start wanting a life of truth and honesty. I keep shaking this camera, this phone. It's pretty much everything that I had written down real quick. Let go of control, because fear is just not an option. You'll thank yourself later. You'll be grateful. I know I am. Honesty and just being yourself, no matter what that is. If people don't like it, they're not the people for you. I'm sorry. They're not that cool as you think. They're not. You'll see it one day. So I hope this helps. And enjoy the rest of your evening and your morning tomorrow. Love you.